You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Thank you for joining us on American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by Ethan Euchre.
Always happy to be here.
Jeff Wagstaff.
Thank you for having me.
And world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute.
Happy to be here.
Nice.
We all are. Mm-hmm. You know, in all the times we've been doing this show, it is so refreshing when you talk to the different patients because they come from all walks of life, all different ages, very young women and men up to even the elderly who are in need of spine help. They have either been through invasive procedures where they're being told they need to be slit down the front, slit down the back, and that's their only option. And then they may just be trading one pain for another. Or they're told, you know, you're wheelchair bound, you're going to be that way for life. Or you're going to have a life stuck on medications. That doesn't have to be the case. So it's great that we're able to have this show to talk about the Bonati spine procedures because there's this word out there, minimal invasion, minimally invasive. And people think the Bonati spine procedures are that, and it's one and the same, and you can pick and choose and go to anyone and get that treatment. Nobody else does the patented exclusive Bonati spine procedures. They are targeted precision procedures. And they bring about true pain resolution of the patient. There's 98.75% patient-reported success. So I'm proud to say that if you've been told by others or you've been through those failed surgeries, there is still hope where you can regain your strength and get back in motion. With that said, we have such an exciting program. We have Fadi Sharma.
Yeah.
He's going to be on talking about Sensa-Life. This is such a cool product.
Yeah, he's a local guy here in our flagship market of Tampa who basically invented a thing, a little sensor that goes into a car seat that'll alert the parent when they get out of the car and leave a child in the car.
I don't know how you could do that.
I don't either, but it happens all the time.
It's a great device to save lives.
Absolutely. So we'll talk to him about that.
And then we have Phyllis Schlafly, and she was actually called on stage to introduce Trump. So we know Doc is going to love that segment. And then, of course, you'll hear what's new in American medicine today, but up first.
In today's Back to Life segment, we will talk to a patient of the Bonati Spine Institute who went from living a life that was restricted by pain and discomfort through their journey of finding the Bonati Spine Institute and are now living pain-free.
It is my pleasure to introduce to the program Brian Layton. He is from Polk City, Florida, as well as Whitehall, New York.
He said he lives in a state of confusion, which I like. How you doing, Brian?
Not too bad. Yourself?
We're all good. Excellent.
So why don't you explain to the people that are listening kind of how did you come to be in pain?
Well, I gave up on the pain. I've suffered from several back operations and everything else, and all the doctors refused anything, any kind of normal operation. So I gave up completely. This year, when I went down to Florida, I gave up to the fact that I was going to have to live on pain medication for the rest of my life. And it was very demoralizing because I had limited amount of time that I could move and, then the side effects from the pain medicine and everything else.
Sure.
And thanks to my wife that has been a nurse for over 40 years, she looked into the Spine Institute. She tried Florida Institute first for injection, which did not work and was nothing but a hassle.
Okay.
But then she found your Bonati Spine Institute.
Let me stop you for a second. Let me.
Went. I just figured, well, there's no other choice. There's nothing else that can happen.
Okay.
So I went with a little help of my wife there, and after the operation, after watching, the operation, they brought me in, and Dr. Bonati talked to me and everything else, and they removed 2 screws from the lower part of my back while I watched.
Well, Brian, let's actually back up from there. How did those screws end up in your back in the first place?
Through one of a normal operation, supposedly a normal operation up here. I had a doctor that went into my spine and opened it up because I have spinal stenosis and it was pinching my nerves in my spine. So he scraped the inside of it out and allowed the nerves to, the pressure off the nerves. So
and this was in New York?
For about a year and a half, 2 years. And
Okay.
I went back to him and asked him what he could do because the pain's starting to come back and my sciatic nerve's starting to come back.
Ooh.
He said, nothing. I can't do anything. So after searching another doctor in Connecticut, they told me that he can go in and he's going to, for one, he was worried that he actually did the operation. After assuring him that he didn't do the operation, he said what he can do is he can go in, but the spine was so weak at this point that he had to brace it up after he cleaned it more. So he cleaned more of it out, and he put, I don't know whether it was a plate and 2 rods in there and 6 screws to hold me together. And I was wondering after that because it eliminated the pain for about 6 months, but I was also losing the feeling in my feet, especially my left foot, and I couldn't push off, so I couldn't balance myself. I was just walking on my heels, and this was 6-7 years that I was like this, and I would just walk on my heels.
So,
and I had to use a cane because if I didn't, I kept on falling.
Unbelievable. So they put these screws into you in an effort to help, and instead they mangle and tangle in the nerves, and now they're causing
Made it worse.
like numbness and loss of strength in your toes. Can you describe that pain to the people that are listening in case they have something that's similar?
Well, it was not only
localized?
the numbness. The numbness was very minor compared to everything else, and the lack of use of my feet was very minor. But I was getting a lot of pain, and I couldn't describe where it was coming from. The doctors, said, "Well, where's the pain coming from?" I had no idea, and it kept on getting worse. And then I got sciatic nerve back on both legs, and I got extreme burning all around my waist, inside.
Yeah.
It's like from the inside out. Even my shoulders were burning, and this is when it was just steady. At night, it would wake me up because I would turn every once in a while, and it was like a lightning rod in my spine.
So,
So between the burning and the sciatic nerves and even the pain medication I was on oxycodone for about 7-8 years now.
that had to take a toll on your personal life.
Oh, it definitely did. I mean, it was limiting my ability to do anything. I probably could get about 3 hours a day out of any good
Goodness.
day. And, a lot of times I would wake up at night and I would be hollering because of the pain. And I put my wife through hell just, because I think the worst thing is to listen to me versus being in this kind of pain.
Yeah.
Listen to your mate that you've been married to for 40 years in this kind of pain. And it's not that I complained a lot, but, at least I don't think I complained a lot.
Well, she saw how it was affecting you. Yeah. And you know what? When you're in pain, it affects your mood. So I'm sure whether you meant to or not, I'm sure she felt that effect. So, so she's the one that led you to the Bonati Spine Institute.
That's right.
Okay, so
she's the one that because of her nursing background, she really, checked out everything. She was trying to seek something for some sort of relief, know. And I was, just about ready to go on a stronger pain medication because I really didn't know what else to do to get any kind of satisfaction.
Sure.
I was actually on the derogated patch for a couple of years, but the problem was the side effects were worse than the relief.
Right. So when you came in, what was that evaluation process like? Did you feel like the doctors at Bonati knew where your pain was coming from?
Well, for one, it was the first office that I went to that it showed that they had any kind of humanity and they had any kind of patient care or anything else. Everyone that I met in there were super. And Dr. Bonati got right on the phone with us and talked to us right off the bat. So that made me feel a lot more at ease that he had excellent bedside manner, where it put me at ease a little, and he said there was a chance, and which I never thought there was any chance.
Yeah.
And then when I went in, they explained everything that they were going to do. It was very, very comfortable. And then when I finally got in the operating room, he talked, Dr. UK.
UTIC,
That he was going to, I was going to watch what's going on, and they didn't put me out, but they numbed me enough so I could watch what was going on.
Conscious IV
and
sedation.
I could actually feel him as he was taking the screws out, a lot of times screws get stuck, and so you hit the
Yes.
screwdriver with a hammer.
Uh-huh.
And that's what it felt like. It felt like he was tapping the screwdriver with a hammer to jar him loose.
Right.
And, I was bouncing on the table, of course, because of my little tummy here. I have no choice but to bounce. But,
Yeah.
he got the screws out and everything, and right after that, it was about an hour and a half operation. Right after that, my wife and I walked out of the operating room and went out to lunch. And it was the first time in probably 6 or 8 years that I stood up straight.
Did you think that was going to be possible? You had
No.
surgery, spine surgery. You get up, you walk out with your wife, and you go straight to go get lunch.
Unbelievable.
I was committed to being in a wheelchair in pain medicine within 3 years.
Right.
What an
So this was a much better outcome than that,
This was
obviously.
it was a miracle. It was really shocking to me because I've been rejected by doctors all over as far as any kind of for experimented, they like to do
Right.
that, but for any kind of relief for me, I sort of gave up on anything.
Was your wife in the operating room with you?
She watched the whole thing.
Yeah, nowhere else do you get that availability. So it's great. You had your wife right there to be there and make sure everything was okay. You watched your surgery. You had that interaction with the doctors. They were removing everything. And how are you feeling?
I'm feeling a lot better. I'm not 100%,
Right.
but I'm not in the pain that I was in.
Yeah.
I have probably, 40% of the pain that I was in. I don't have the burning around the waist. I don't have the sciatic nerves. I mean, every once in a while I'll get a jab or something like that, and I can feel pressure still on my right side.
Right.
They only took the 2 out on my left side.
Okay.
But I can feel some things, and I still can't pinpoint anything. The best I can do is, like when I turn a certain way, like I said, I still get a jab, and every once in a while I'll get a sciatic nerve in my right leg.
Do
So I
you
know
have
that
other?
there's something else there, but
Sure.
I can't pinpoint it.
But the pain that you came in with, that was resolved, and there's another area you still have left to target, correct?
Oh, yeah, that was resolved completely,
Yes.
and both Dr. Bonatti and Dr. UK said that they wanted to remove the ones on my right side,
Right.
and I think that may take care of the rest of that,
Yeah,
because
that's-
or a lot of it, so I can be almost back to normal. But I'm back where I can ride my motorcycle
That's
and
fantastic.
walk. I wasn't able to walk around the house without
Right.
the cane, Now I can
Unbelievable.
walk around the house and walk out to the car and everything. I'm still unsure of myself, but I'm starting to get the feeling back in my left foot,
That's
that I
fantastic.
can catch myself when I go to lean forward too far.
Well, we certainly hope you come down to finish the rest of those surgeries so that you can have relief on that other side. But we're so thankful that we were able to help you with that first side and help take care of that excruciating pain that it had caused you. Thank you for sharing your story with us.
Thanks, Brian.
Oh, you're welcome, and I definitely will be down for the next one.
You
All
take
right.
care.
You have a great day.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
All right.
See, that's something that people don't understand. When they suffer in pain for so long, problems compound. So we target that first excruciating pain, and sometimes you feel the next, but that's why it's always important to finish your course of treatment. Make sure you stay tuned, because coming up after the break, you're going to hear about this incredible invention called Sense Life. Make sure you stay tuned. You're listening to American Medicine Today. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Thanks for joining us on American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by Ethan Euchre.
Happy to be here.
And world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute.
Thank you.
So joining us in studio is Fady Shamma, founder and CEO of Sensalife, a Tampa-based company that has created a new device which will prevent children from being left in hot cars. This is a much-needed device, especially with all these children we're hearing are dying from extreme heat being left in vehicles.
Happens all the time.
I know. Mm-hmm. Thank you for being here, Fady.
It's a pleasure to have us. Thank you so much.
I have to ask, I'm a mom, and in nearly 7 years, there hasn't been one time that I've forgotten I have my daughter with me.
Thank God.
I don't understand how that can happen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have children, but the thought process, and when I first brought Fady to you as a prospective guest, you thought, why is this even a needed product? No offense.
No. We knew why it was needed, but we just thought,
who is leaving their children?
Who are the parents that forget?
Yeah, exactly.
I have my kid in the back seat. I'm going to go shopping. Oops.
Well, you have around 6 months ago a case in television that was saying the kid was left there and the mother went to do some shopping, forgot totally, and the kid died.
Yeah. So obviously, much needed product. Mm-hmm. Why don't you describe it? Hold it up
for
us.
But just to your first point, we hear that all the time about who would leave a child in the car, but it happens quite often. And I hate that we had to do this, but we needed to come up with a solution. There was a problem for this. Yeah. And I've mentioned this before, but one child dies every 8 to 9 days in this country alone. We had 2 deaths just last week in 24-hour period. Wow. Both are 2 years old, and they're both in northern states where the high of the day was 60 and 70. So it's people believe that it should be hot outside.
It doesn't even have to be hot, you're saying?
Even at 70 degrees, the temperature inside the car can get well over 100, even if the windows are slightly even open.
Wow.
Well, it's like a greenhouse, it's the greenhouse effect with the windows.
And it's not always, parents that are at fault, but we've seen from the judge to a single mother that have had this happen to them. But, both parents are working these days, or a single mom's working, and other people are watching their child. So
Mm-hmm.
whether it's grandma, grandpa, a friend, they're not used to the daily routine. Or these new mothers are not used to having a child at all times, and they're worn out, stressed out, tired. And honestly, we're all humans, and we all make mistakes.
So the device I'm looking at right now almost looks like a charging station for a cell phone. And then there's another component to it. Do you want to hold it up so people that are watching the stream
also
can
describe it for the people listening on the radio.
What we came up with, we wanted something that's simple and easy to use, but obviously effective. It's a 2-part device. It's all wireless, as you can see. It doesn't need to be hooked up to the vehicle. It does not need to, it can be recharged right there in the vehicle with a micro USB. Each charge lasts up to 3 to 4 months. And basically, this is the pressure pad that goes underneath the child. All it requires is 2 pounds of pressure, and it turns on this whole device. This goes underneath the driver. and it has an optical sensor. The optical sensor detects if the driver is leaving the vehicle.
Okay.
And upon exiting the vehicle, the speaker in the device will alert the parent or caregiver, please remove the child from the car seat.
Now, is there a voice command, or is it just an alarm?
Oh,
Yep.
so it is.
It is a voice, very loud,
Perfect.
and you won't miss it. And also, if you decide to close the door and say, I'm going to run to the store real quick, you will also get an app alert. The app alert will continue to notify you until you remove the child, and say 3-4 minutes go by and nobody responds. Then we could contact a secondary caregiver through the phone and the app.
That's perfect, because at first I wasn't sure if it made a sound within the vehicle. So
sure
you're trying to make it so obvious before they even close the door that the child's in the back.
Sure, and a reason why other devices have not worked in the past is they usually wait till the parent is way down the street to notify them, and usually there's signal interference and signal problems. We want to immediately notify the parent that the child is in the seat.
Now, here's something that I actually brought up to you when I was booking you for the show. I said, listen, my first red flag that went off, I thought this is an incredible product.
Yes.
However, somebody who is that irresponsible that's going to leave their child in the car to die, not saying it's intentional, but if you're that forgetful, you're not that aware of a parent, you're not going to go buy that thing.
Excellent point. And
you know what I mean?
This is a reason that last week we met with 7 Florida senators, and we want to make this a law or regulation in the future where our technology can easily be implemented into future car seats. So what we want is the car seat makers or the car manufacturers to automatically put this in their car seat, and we are 100% sure that this type of device or technology will work. Many people since 2002 have tried to solve this problem, including NASA, and they have not been able to do it. And we went outside the box, and we have a great electrical engineer on hand, and we decided to go with these optical sensors, which do not fail 1,000%.
And we only have a couple of minutes left. Describe what the next step is. I know you have a Kickstarter. You're looking for. This is almost like a real life Shark Tank right here, because that's a prototype, right? I mean, you need money to get this going.
We have a market ready prototype, and we are actually interviewing different investors, venture capitalists. We got lucky. We were not lucky, but we were honored to be highlighted on TechCrunch last week.
Nice.
That brought in a lot of Silicon Valley type people and venture capitalists to the table. And after that, a few days later, Google contacted us. They wanted to be part of the action. And because of all this, we've had investors come to us. And right now, we're looking for smart money that will help us take the next step and hopefully fully fund production, manufacturing. And then we can take this for everybody. We want it affordable. What we're selling is, at the end of the day, peace of mind. No matter who's watching your child, I just want this just like a seatbelt is in a vehicle.
And it's a very good, obviously, great cause, good product.
Yes.
And
as a parent, we don't want to see anybody. I have 2 children myself. If they get a cold, I get upset. So I can't imagine losing a child.
Well, we know how advanced NASA is, and if they couldn't figure it out, thank God you came along and was able to figure it out.
I appreciate it, but I have an excellent electrical engineer on my team and my partner and friend, and he's a parent also. And when we saw all these cases, especially living in Florida, it's the number 2 hot car death, followed by Texas.
I can imagine, yeah.
So we decided we need to make a solution, and one that's permanent. A lot of people have come up with solutions, but they really don't last.
And say again the amount of children that die per day because they're left in a vehicle?
On average, 1 every 8 to 9 days dies in this. And we already, in April, we've had 2 deaths already just last week in 24 hours.
Wow. Now, I know your Kickstarter, I think, ends pretty soon,
in
right?
a few days, but we are lucky enough that we are getting investors because the Kickstarter was a great marketing awareness campaign, but we need a lot more money. We need more. We asked for $50,000 on Kickstarter, but we're going to need a couple $100,000 to get manufacturing going.
Okay, if they want to help, how do they reach you?
Sensealife.com, or you can contact me directly. I can leave my information.
Sure. Do you have a phone number?
Sure, 813-449-3210. And again, through Sensealife.com or on our Facebook page, you can directly message us.
All right. And again, that's
SenseAlife.com.
Yes. Sense a Life can save a life.
There
Thaddeus
you go.
Sciamma, founder and CEO of Sense a Life, a Tampa-based company that created a device to prevent children from being left in hot cars. Thank you again for saving all these lives.
Thank you. This has been an honor. Thank you, Doc, for having us.
Thank you. Thank you. Great product.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're listening to American Medicine Today. Make sure you stay tuned because we have Phyllis Schlafly. She's on to talk about how she got to go on stage and introduce Trump at one of his rallies. Stay tuned. You're listening to American Medicine Today.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden, I can cook, and I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonatti Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonatti spine procedures, Alfred Bonatti, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonatti and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Thank you for joining us on American Medicine Today. We have an exciting guest, but before then, I'm joined by my great group of...
You forget my name?
Comrades,
compatriots.
Yeah.
How many?
The men in my life. That would be Ethan Euchre.
Yes, I
Jeff
am here.
Wagstaff.
Yes, I am.
And world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonatti of the esteemed Bonatti Spine Institute.
What's up, Doc?
Too many men on her life.
I know. But it's a great group of men and women in the other room. Meredith Sensulo. We have Ben Jacobson and James Hayden and Josh from WeBeamTV.
Or Jose,
.com.
as you like to call him.
Yep. Josh is very serious.
Batman. Yeah. But anyway, we're excited because this guest, Phyllis Schlafly, she's a national leader of the conservative movement and founder of the Eagle Forum. We've had her on previously, but she's here to discuss the presidential race and particularly her support of Donald Trump on the campaign trail. Thanks for joining us, Phyllis.
Thank you. I'm very happy to join you.
Now, Phyllis, I was reading an article that you're getting a significant amount of backlash from your peers at the Eagle Forum and otherwise for being a supporter of Trump. Why such hatred here?
And maybe even at the dinner table, we hear it's from your own family.
Well, if you followed me, you know that I invented the conservative movement in 1964.
Yes, you did.
When I wrote a little paperback called The Choice Not an Echo, and that invented the conservative movement, and I was backing Barry Goldwater. Mm-hmm. And, of course, we did get him nominated, but not elected. The people I call the kingmakers swooped in and destroyed him in the election. But I have been fighting the so-called kingmakers all my life.
Right.
They are the rich crowd who think they're divinely endowed to pick our candidates. And my friend, the great speaker Everett Dirksen, said on the floor of the convention one year, I was there, "We followed you before, and you led us down the road to defeat." So the kingmakers have given us a whole bunch of losers, starting with Rockefeller all the way down. And they were just out to determine Trump, to destroy Trump.
Right.
And
the Never Trump
had
movement.
to fight the kingmakers.
Who are these kingmakers, Phyllis?
Well, they're the rich crowd. They're the people who give big money, and so money talks.
Oh,
and,
like lobbyists?
A lot of them are lobbyists. A lot of them are the rich people who pay the lobbyists.
So the Cruz supporters actually asked for your resignation.
Both of them.
As for whose resignation?
We're reading an article where some of the supporters of
Ted
Cruz within where you work at the Eagle Forum, and you're the leader, the head of the Eagle Forum, they had the cojones to say, you support Trump, why don't you just resign, Phyllis? That's what I read anyway, so it could be hearsay. I don't know.
Why don't I resign?
Yeah.
Well, there are a lot of people who'd like to get rid of me, but I do feel I'm on the side of the grassroots.
There you
I
go.
love you for that. I love you for that.
We truly applaud your efforts because we believe that if the establishment is so dead set against that man getting in, he must be doing something right.
That's right. He must be doing something right.
Phyllis, one of the things that I really resent in all this Never Trump movement is the fact that we don't identify these people and then put a tag on them to see what they are getting with this type of a behavior. Because must be something very powerful where they are involved in some type of dirty type of a kickback or something like that to be able to survive with that.
The kingmakers operate with money. They pay off everybody. And they think, and that's why they can control so many people.
Yes.
They simply provide them with money. And Trump doesn't give anybody any money. He just spends his own.
Right.
And gets his own press. And they resent that. They don't want that at all. But I like Trump because he has made possible what I think is a major issue of our time, which is immigration. And he's brought it to the fore. He's made it the number one issue.
Yes.
And also, he's not beholden to the kingmakers.
Yes.
And if you've read A Choice Not an Echo, and I hope you have, because the new edition brings it up to date with a chapter on the shenanigans going on behind every one of the Republican National Conventions. I've got a chapter on each convention. And I'll give you a little teaser, and that is that the 1981, when they knew that we, the grassroots, had enough votes to nominate Ronald Reagan, they moved to Plan B, and it's a very interesting story. So I urge you to go to Amazon or eaglefarm.org and get my new edition of A Choice Not an Echo.
Phyllis, as a lady with your experience, you've seen a lot of elections come and go. Have you ever in your life seen anything like what's going on with Ted Cruz? Here you have someone who, for the most part, is completely out of it. So then he names a vice presidential running mate. But the part that concerns me is he seems to be hated by Democrats and Republicans alike, yet he's gotten this far.
Boehner just called him Lucifer the other day.
Yesterday.
Yeah, I honestly, they all say that nobody likes him, but I don't understand that. I would guess maybe half of my Eagle Forum members are for Cruz. In fact, they tried to pass around a list of Cruz supporters who were Eagle Forum members and tried to pretend it was Eagle Forum. But our organization didn't endorse anybody. I personally did endorse Trump when I introduced him to a huge cheering St. Louis crowd on the steps of the auditorium there, the Peabody Auditorium. And so I said, it's free speech. You can endorse anybody you want. I don't know why they don't like Cruz. He's supported a lot of good conservative issues. maybe they just think he can't win.
Well, my problem with him, I liked him and I liked Trump, but I don't like the dirty politics, the outright blatant lies he makes up about Trump, and I've just changed my whole opinion. And I love Trump. Like it or lump it, he says some things that might get under your skin, but you know what? It's about damn time.
It's time, and
yes.
Nobody else made immigration the issue.
Correct.
And all you have to do is look at what's happened to the EU. I spent a year of my life trying to stop this terrible idea called the North American Union, and they wanted to make us into using the EU as a model,
right.
And erase our borders altogether with Mexico and Canada. And we don't want that. We like America the way our founding fathers wrote our Constitution.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
right.
agreed.
So,
Yes.
Phyllis, a couple minutes left. How do you think Trump will, assuming he's going to be the nominee, which, I mean, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
How do you think he's going to fare against Hillary in the general election?
Well,
He's gonna kill her.
I do not believe the American people are going to elect Hillary Clinton as president of the United States.
I hope
Oh, when he starts to talk about her, he's going to just clean the floor.
Well, we're far gone, but I don't think we're that far gone.
Now, Phyllis,
I pray you're right.
in your opinion, as Dr. Bonatti has said, Trump is very visceral. When he attacks somebody, he goes after him. Do you think that will help Trump in the general election? Or do you
Absolutely.
Well, I don't think I can give advice to Trump. He's doing pretty well on his own.
You're right.
But the specific question is we're all giddy here with Trump. Will those type of comments help him in the general election, or will it hurt him with independents and female voters?
Oh, no.
I don't know. I think independents are flocking to Trump, and I don't know. I'm not a good predictor. All I can say is that Trump has made immigration an issue, which I believe, like Ann Coulter, it is the number one issue. It's You just look at Europe. Now, I thought the Germans were tough, but they weren't tough enough for these hordes of immigrants coming in.
Yeah.
Good point. Well, any closing thoughts, Doc, for our friend Phyllis here?
You go on my website, eagleforum.org, and keep up to date with what I'm saying. I'm not going to predict, but I do think that Trump is the one, if we want to get rid of the control that the kingmakers have had over our nominees and giving us a bunch of losers. As Dirksen said, we followed you before and you led us down the road to defeat, and we don't want that again. We want a winner.
Well, Phyllis, you said you're not much of a predictor, but we very much respect your opinion here. No one's predicting who's going to be Trump's running mate. What do you think?
Oh, I don't know. I can't predict that either.
All right. Well, of course, we'll have you back on, Phyllis, because we certainly enjoy having you
You
on.
can have me back on to comment whoever he picks.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
All right, you have a good day, and God bless.
You too. God bless you
See you
too.
later.
Phyllis Schlafly, national leader of the conservative movement and founder of the Eagle Forum.
And apparently she has a new version of her book at Amazon, so pick it up.
And you know,
Schlafly.
She's great.
I don't even drink. That's a lady I want to have cocktails with.
She's like 92, dude.
She's fantastic.
I mean, but she's so sharp and so.
I want to go have
she's so
highballs
got
with
it.
Phyllis.
Spot on.
I know, right?
Well, make sure you stay tuned. You're going to hear what's coming up next on American Medicine Today.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Thank you for joining us for American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by Ethan Euchre.
Happy to be here.
Jeff Wagstaff.
Yes, I am.
And world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati.
I'm here.
Let's look at what's new in medicine today, featuring Alfred Bonati, MD.
And we're glad you're here.
Yeah.
Because we always love this segment, Doc. So what's going on?
So how is the government and big health insurance companies, how are they defining quality of medical treatment?
They're defining. Really is getting to a situation that is not safe.
Okay.
First than anything, everything's associated with the government ends in a disaster, ends not only lowering the quality of the product, but at the same time ends creating a situation of a conflict between the service and the quality of the service.
Got it.
So healthcare today, delivered by the government, is not only a situation of a conflict for the service to the patient, but at the same time a conflict for the physicians that they work in that with the insurance companies associated with the government. Now, physicians are moving more and more and more out of accepting patients that they are treated by insurance which responsibility is the government. One of the problems with that is not only they keep punishing the doctors. Recently, they are going to, for example, they are trying to create certain laws where the physician needs to do some reporting, and if the report is not done at a certain period of time during the monthly report or whatever, they immediately cut the funds and 9% of punishment, and it's already physicians that they are receiving very poor amount of compensation by Medicare or Medicaid.
Well, what I want to know is how insurance companies and how the government gets away with allowing the insurance companies to dictate what surgeries would be covered or what protocol would be covered, because when you pay into it, it should be there to insure you.
I don't think the government do that. I think what happened is the insurance companies just take one step farther. They want more money, so they put more restrictions.
Okay.
And once again, I think this is responsibility of the doctors.
Okay.
The doctors are not really reacting to these actions.
Okay.
So if somebody pushed you and instead to you push back, you just move from that space, they keep pushing you.
Well, here's a question. You just said you don't think the government's part of that, but the government was very much part of that with Obamacare.
Well, the government is part of the regulatory system for Obamacare.
Sure.
But it's a disaster. It is going to disappear because they cannot survive with the way that they are going.
All right.
So that's going to go to hell. But if Trump is elected, that is going to disappear in the first week because they need to readjust that. There's too many people in a bad situation.
Okay.
The problem with insurance companies is that they push the doctor and the doctor doesn't push back.
Okay.
Well, this is what I keep suggesting all the time. Physicians, they need to organize in a certain way they can push back. And one of the things, the systems is very simple. You tell the insurance company, if you don't pay my fees that they are accordingly to the community charges, then we don't serve you. And then we don't serve your patients.
Okay.
And if they don't serve your patients, you're going to see how easy the insurance companies are going to back off of this behavior.
Right.
The other thing is that the patients, they need to be responsible with the health care also. If you go and hire an insurance company who is an insurance company that creates a problem on your service. For example, if you go to a doctor and the doctor says, you are in a lot of pain and you need to be treated today, and the insurance company said, well, you need to wait 6 weeks before we approve your treatment, then the insurer immediately should go and look for another insurance company.
Correct.
And then dump that insurance company. Now, the major trouble is the insurance company now, they said, well, you cannot dump us till we open the registration in the next 6 or 7 months or the next year or whatever the thing is. It's more and more things that they put together to protect themselves from the action of the physicians or the action of the patients.
Right.
The other thing that they do is they hire and prostitute doctors by hiring mediocre, totally unadapted, irresponsible physicians that they go and change their oath. They oath to they go and protect the insurance company against the patients.
Of course.
So what they do is for a compensation, they go and they deny the care to the patient no matter what, and they are so irresponsible, and so the knowledge that they have is so poor. These people, they cannot make it outside as physicians that they are responsible. They go to serve the insurance company because they are crappy doctors. And then what happens is they are being used to clean the insurance company of the responsibility of being sued
and deny care.
Sure. So what doctors need to start to do is they need to start to sue.
But they don't deny your money. They don't deny your money every time you pay your premium. They love it. Bring it on.
Yeah, but that is secondary.
When you need to use it, it's not there.
But that's not important. What's important is what we need to do. And what we need to do is we need to get these physicians that they are serving in that type of practically illegal behavior against the patients. The physicians need to sue these doctors. They need to sue these organizations that they are irresponsible because they are in a conflict of interest on business, number one. And second, they are also mistreating and abusing and battering the patients. So we need to get a new laws, or we need to get lawyers involved that they are going to help the medicine to protect the patient, and we are not doing it. And then that is why doctors are constantly being pushed, because we do not act. And I promise you, I'm acting. I already sue Blue Cross and Blue Shield because it's an irresponsible insurance company, and I'm going to pursue that. At the same time, I'm going to look for physicians that they are doing this bad, corrupted type of a report for defend the insurance company and deny treatment to the patients. I'm going to look for the position where I can sue personally those physicians and report them to the Board of Medicine for actions that they are totally illegal, and they are not protecting the patient, and they are not protecting the responsibility of the insurance companies. They are protecting they are not protecting the patient, and they are allowing the insurance company to be responsible.
And that's a look at what's new in medicine today with Alfred Bonati, MD.
It's an important subject that we always need to keep mentioning, and I think you should do that, Dr. Bonati.
Absolutely.
That about wraps up this show for American Medicine Today. Make sure you stay tuned, though, if you're one of our affiliates, because we're going to say bye-bye to News Radio 970, but we'll be back after the commercial break. You'll hear more. If you or someone you know is suffering with neck, back, or sciatic pain, reach out to Bonati at Bonati.com. Bye.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.